On this episode of Star Trek Universe, Romulans using Klingon designs, Vulcan and Romulan fingers entwined, Kirk and Spock look for a cloaking device, while the Romulan commanders looking for a poking so nice.
I'm glad you made that rhyme.
We're talking Star Trek 304, The Enterprise Incident, right after these words from Randy whispering women in power.
Ooh. Everyone's kink, really. Yeah.
I mean, I almost had a rhyme about them pulling the wool over the Romulan's eyes while she tries to pull her short skirt over her thighs. She kept standing up and pulling it down. Anyway.
That's fair. It was damn short. But then she got to change into a dress that was much less short.
Yeah. That was a nice change of pace.
Uniforms are there to be hot. Dressing nice is about covering more.
Right.
It's way hotter. Leave something for the imagination.
Right.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
She got that Rorschach dress.
Was it moving? I saw lots of trauma from childhood in those shapes, but I didn't realize they were moving.
Ooh, girl, Spock, you're going to be trapped in there with her. Anyway, we should start the show.
Probably.
Welcome into Star Trek Universe. This is the classic rewatch. I am David C. Robertson. I have classically rewatched several times.
And I am Effie Pelders, having seen this only once in a very non-classical way. One might even say remastered, probably.
Yeah.
Because there was a DVD thing at the end of the file, so.
Yeah. We don't know about all that. Yeah. So, we got the Memory Alpha summary here. Acting apparently restless and irrational, Captain Kirk inexplicably orders the Enterprise into Romulan space, where the ship is quickly captured by the enemy, and Kirk held captive aboard their flagship. What do you think of this episode, F?
Ooh. A lot happens, I feel, but it is overall just it seemed good. Yeah. Like, I mean, something is up from the very beginning, but they do draw that out nicely where it does eventually fit in, but it does, it makes it hard to buy into anything because from the get-go you're like, this seems like a stupid decision, so there must be a less stupid reason for them to be doing this. So all of the traitor nonsense and the oh no he's dead stuff kind of doesn't hit like it might if you were still a kid in the 60s having no clue that he might just be doing a thing.
Right.
But it does have some fun stuff in there. And I mean, I don't know what to think of the whole Spock, what's her name?
She doesn't have one. Commander.
She doesn't have a name? Oh, right. I thought she had a last name.
She whispered her name into his ear. We never hear it.
The first name. I thought that was just her first name.
They just said
the
Commander.
way that Spock has a first name that we cannot pronounce and never hear.
As far as I can recall, we've always, as fans, called her the Romulan Commander.
Wow. Well, that's weird. Because I remember Tal had a name.
Yeah.
A female commander. My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's wow. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I kind of like it.
I really thought, because she said, oh, I have a first name too. Would you care to know? And then she whispers. And I'm like, do we know your last name? Apparently, I thought we did, but that was the other guy. She's just a girl, I guess.
No, and I
just
love
a girl in charge.
She is.
Yeah.
I think she is so much more than that. I love this character. I want so much more of her. She's such a badass.
Yeah. No, she's very interesting. I'm just, I guess it's just the whole where it ends up with Spock sort of admitting to her that I hope this was more lasting, that it meant more than just the military ruse, and I was under orders, and we both know that we only respect each other because we are sticking to our guns, basically. That makes sense, but it does make it harder for me to sort of gauge any of it. I feel like earlier on, because I am like, okay, he's clearly deceiving her to an extent, but also there's some sincerity in there, and because he is playing the lack of emotion, that works for the tension, the sexual tension, but it doesn't. It I don't know. It also didn't strike me as like, oh, I want these two to be together.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't like hyped up for like, oh, I love these two as a power couple. So it sort of felt interesting for him to admit that in a way where I was also like, okay, is that just the emotional impact of doing the Vulcan thing together? Mm-hmm. Like, I presume they had a mind melt of sorts, which is just a really interesting, sexy time, sure. But I don't know what to make of it, because it also feels like that would compromise him just as an officer. But I don't know. I was also maybe just dead tired, but when I watched it. But no, it's now that I think of it, like, what did I think of this episode? And I'm just it didn't offend me in any way. I was entertained. I like the whole, we can just surgically alter your ears and no one will notice. Like, it's fun. Yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff going on, and it's cool to see Kirk in the makeup for once. It's like, it's fun. But it's on the emotional side, it didn't do that much for me, I guess.
Yeah. I got a hint in there from you just a second ago. It seems like you just said, I wasn't offended by anything, so I don't know what to think. In a way, no, but but I mean that in the sense that not that it's always something offensive. It's just nothing stood out to me as, oh, this is fucking great and I'm really invested, and nothing stood out to me as in like, oh my god, this is trash. You should have rewritten this. So I'm just sort of in that middling section of where it's like, it's fine, it was fun, but I don't have a lot to point out in general, I guess, because I'm just like, it made sense. It was just a plot. It was kind of plot driven. It was kind of the whole, oh, we're getting something, we're stealing something. There was just I like the confusion at first, I guess, more than where it goes, maybe. Yeah.
The also the confusion amongst, like, from Scott to Uhura, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, everyone who's not on board with the plan being sort of confused and unsure of like what they're walking into and how they are even gonna treat this. And at the same time, I wondered also, like, if she, I like that she's like, blow me up. That's the right move. At the same time, you're also blowing up the cloaking device, which I figured they could make more. So
yeah.
But it is kind of sad that they never really get into the whole cooperation with the Klingon Empire.
Right.
Because it is a neat little Easter egg in there that I feel is just there because, well, we had these ships lying around and we didn't feel like reusing 3 of the Romulan ships or something. It just felt like, oh, this didn't serve any purpose. It was just there to explain why the ships look like Klingon ships.
If I understand correctly, this is discounting the remastered versions where we have seen D7 Klingon cruisers at least twice before. In the original series, the original version, we had always seen like a blip of light or something instead of a Klingon ship.
Oh, okay. So we'd never seen a Klingon ship.
This is the first time we saw a Klingon ship. And I believe it was a toy company who had built a model, and they had paid for it, and they had the Klingon ships. And the Romulan warbird from Balance of Terror went missing after the shooting. They still don't even know where that even went.
Well, that explains that, because I figured there was a reason they couldn't use the Romulan ship again.
Yeah. So in the original episode, it was 3 of the D7 cruisers, not a Romulan warbird. Yeah. And
was there a Romulan warbird in the remastered?
In the remastered, one of them is a Romulan warbird from Balance of Terror. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which makes sense. I hadn't realized that the Klingon ships hadn't been shown yet in the Klingon episodes. That makes some sense. Okay, cool. I don't know how that worked in previous episodes, because now I'm like, okay, but if it was only a blip there, like, did they always have the cloaking shit? What did we...
Yeah.
But Interesting.
So in extended universe stuff, and I believe it's even referred to in later series, this was a signal of, yes, there was a treaty between the Romulans and the Klingons, and by the 24th century there's bad blood between the Romulans and the Klingons, purportedly over something here.
I mean, that makes sense that they wouldn't, stay friends for their respective characterizations, but it also strikes me as a lot of potential where it's if it were more than a treaty, if it were, okay, we're working together, we're exchanging military technologies.
Yeah.
Like, that's where a front against the Federation and something bigger could happen,
Yeah.
But it also makes sense for, inner turmoil to take over the alliance as tends to happen with extremist groups. You start out being like, oh, we're all sort of Nazi adjacent, let's be Nazis together, and then you end up finding out, some of us are more white than others. And
yeah.
Not to bring U.S. politics into this again, but
yeah.
It is fun to see people eat each other. Let's put it that way. People can also be Romulans and Klingons.
You talked about porn last episode too.
Not specifically my kink, cannibalism, but I guess.
No, I was talking about oral sex.
Oh, that kind of eating each other. Never mind. That is fun, actually, to watch. I'm
not a big fan.
How did we get here? It's not your thing, I know.
It's not.
But that's just, we're made different. That happens.
Yeah. So with this episode, I hate that I know that a previous draft included Sarek from, Spock's dad, the ambassador.
That would have been interesting. Tell me more.
all I know was it involved Sarek, basically keeping the Romulans preoccupied while Kirk and Spock ran around as Romulans on one of the ships trying to get a fucking cloaking device.
Sure.
That's all I know.
Okay. So you basically would have replaced Spock with his dad, and then
probably.
And it's cleaner this way, I guess. But I do like bringing him back, even though it probably proved impossible.
Yeah, he was working on something else, but also like
I figured. Yeah.
I do really, really like this theme of captains being lonely at the top.
Yeah.
And I really
because there is clearly, like, from the get-go even, it is very clear. He can talk to McCoy, end of list. He can, really, even Spock, he can only bounce off of in terms of non-emotional command decisions, really. Like, he's supportive, but McCoy is really the only person he can talk to about feeling like shit.
Right.
And he can't even do that here because McCoy is only... Well, he is in on the plan eventually when he's dead, but it's... Like, McCoy still has to pretend to be like, nope, you are... I'm making star logs about you being real cranky. Which is part of the plan, but...
Yeah, I feel like what I was referring to is the Romulan commander is that character in this episode.
Her too. Yeah, both, really.
She seeks that kinship with Spock and finds it, and I believe everything Spock is saying as far as like, when she's like, extent, I love that she's like, for someone with your capabilities and accomplishments, opportunities are made and will be. I will see to that. If you'll stop looking on the Federation as the whole universe, it is not, And he says, that has occurred to me occasionally. And it should, because that's another thing that's, important to realize in Star Trek is like, the Federation is not the end-all be-all. It is not the only way to look at the universe. It is not the only culture out there.
Nor should it be. And at the same time, I don't fully believe him in that scene where he implies, like, I've thought of being a traitor and just coming over to the other side. But I do think he's very much considered that he is an exemplary officer, and because he is half Vulcan, he will never be a captain.
Well, there was a whole...
Because I feel like there is that sort of like he could get his own ship conceivably just based on his merit.
He could,
and whether or not he doesn't want to or couldn't is sort of up to interpretation, I guess. But
there is.
I do think there's something there to make a story out of.
Well, I don't think. I think maybe he could possibly have said is like he said in the episode. It's a rarer. It's a rare opportunity. But we have previously had Spock respond to the death cry of a ship a Federation ship full of Vulcans in a previous episode. So he knows that a Vulcan can be captain.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
That's something that she assumed.
I guess
perhaps somewhat
she
rightfully.
She is clearer. Yeah, no, because but I think that also works with him being half and half. Like the whole part of like because you could easily see, well, Vulcans are part of the Federation. It's a union. It's an allied thing. There could very easily be ships like the Enterprise being very much from Earth and full of humans, with the occasional exception, and a lot of Vulcan ships that are not having a human around, basically.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is very clear that he is not Vulcan enough for Vulcan society.
Yeah.
Or else he would be there.
Maybe.
Well, now, not that he would have made that choice, because that would have made him an entirely different character. But I mean, he's not like he is ostracized for choosing to be on part of Starfleet. And while there are apparently Vulcan ships, I could still imagine that being quite a bit different from going along with a human captain and serving in a sense.
Now, I do want to jump back to something you said. When she says, stop looking at the Federation as the whole universe, it's not, that's when he says that has occurred to me on occasion.
Yeah.
So he's not saying, on occasion, I have thought about betraying the Federation. He's saying it has occurred to him that there are other points of view. The Federation is not the whole universe, and there are other things that he could do.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Though I also, because Vulcan is part of the Federation, it would feel like quite a big jump to be like stepping outside of that sort of home base even further. Because at that point, you're not just betraying one people, one planet, but multiple.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily.
You're leaving.
It wouldn't necessarily be a betrayal if he decided.
If there was some other neutral faction, but so far we've had.
He was supposed to
Romulans,
have gone.
Klingons, like all of the non-Federation shit is kind of not portrayed in the grandest of lights.
But there are different, things within the Federation. There are separate entities. There's the Vulcan Science Academy that wouldn't be Starfleet. It wouldn't be strictly Federation. There.
He could have done that. But
yeah,
I'm not sure he still considers that, because I feel like that's sort of the part of the. Well, that's what my dad would have liked for me.
Yeah. And fuck him.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck him. He's working on another show. He wouldn't even show up today. Fuck him.
Yeah. Anyway, I really like the relationship between the Romulan commander and Spock. I'm not a big fan of stupid subterfuge plots. That's fine. It's what it is. I didn't think it was terribly stupid or anything. It was
it was fine. It's
I
just
get a little aggravated when I want to be like, what the fuck's going on? But when Kirk starts screaming, you traitor, I'll kill you, you traitor. I'm like, this is all some sort of fucking ruse. Like,
exactly. Like it is just very clear that there is. It's you don't really believe Spock suddenly being like, oh, he's gone mad, and it's just slightly too flimsy for us to buy into as an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when he then enters the jail, hits himself against the door and instantly goes into shock or some shit. And McCoy has to be like, no, his brain.
Right.
He's been paranoid for months. Oh, God.
Yeah. But like I said, I thought all of the dialogue between the commander and Spock was great.
That was the most interesting part of the episode, really.
Yeah, it is unworthy of a Vulcan.
Because there is both that tension and clearly he's not being sincere completely with her without lying explicitly necessarily. Though I think that struck me as, like, are they unable to lie, though?
Oh,
I feel
no,
like they're lying all the damn time. Like, we know that, right?
Yeah.
It's just Romulans who assumed that rumor was true. Yeah. No,
Well,
okay.
Inhumans.
He's just not going against it.
I think in Star Trek 2,
Yeah.
in Star Trek 2, there's a bit where someone says a lie, and he goes, an exaggeration. Something like that.
Yeah. You know, I'm just consciously misstating something. Not entirely lying.
Yeah. I love the...
To the best of my information.
I love this line. It is unworthy of a Vulcan to resort to subterfuge. You're being clever, Commander. That is unworthy of a Romulan. Like,
Yeah.
It is not a lie to keep the truth to oneself. That is good.
Yep. There's a lot of fun lines in there.
It would be illogical to assume that all conditions remain stable. Mm-hmm. And you know who wrote it? T.C. Fontana.
Yeah, makes sense.
Her initial inspiration for the story and its title was the Pueblo incident, which involved the capture of an American patrol boat, the USS Pueblo, by North Korean forces during the Vietnam War. The incident occurred on January 23rd, 1968, just 2 months before Fontana completed her first draft story outline. She noted it was really based on the Pueblo incident, in the sense that here's this ship caught spying and they have to find a justification for their being there. Kirk's sanity is put on the line in terms of why they're there. Then, of course, they have to get out safely, preferably with the information they came for. Now, that's not what happened in the Pueblo, but the Pueblo incident kicked off this line of thinking in my mind.
Yeah. Inspiration.
In her first draft script, it is explicitly stated that the Romulans have an improved, undetectable version of the cloaking device, which was a prismatic type of mechanism. It was stored in a laboratory, waiting to be installed on the Romulan ship rather than an already operational mechanism. Also, in her original draft, both Kirk and McCoy, I thought it was Spock, are disguised as Romulans and steal the cloaking device. The first draft of the episode stressed the attraction between Spock and the Romulan commander based upon their common lineage. Or heritage, God. Originally, Spock was supposed to kiss the commander. The original draft script describes Spock as raining kisses on every square inch above the shoulder. But both Nimoy and Linville agreed they needed something different than normal human love expressions, and suggested the hand contact instead. Gotta do that Vulcan finger fuck. Nimoy, in fact, wrote a long letter of complaint to Roddenberry about the issue. In Star Trek Lives, Dorothy Fontana tells how she attempted to warn Roddenberry about fan reactions if Spock were to behave out of character. She insisted that Nimoy was right, that the pair's interactions would suggest an alien sexuality but not human passion. Even with Nimoy and Linville's restrained gestural contact, Fontana was flooded with letters from fans, aware of the Ponfar and believing it meant Vulcans had sex only once every 7 years. They complained that the scene was out of character. Years later, Fontana wrote Sex Scenes in Vulcan's Glory, which was a book, establishing that the Ponfar is only a fertility cycle and that the Vulcans can have sex anytime.
I mean, yes, but also it could have just been foreplay. Like, who cares? He could have just been leading her on, getting her to change, the thing he was doing to our human eyes. But it was definitely the wise decision not to go fully... into a frenzy. That would have been slightly out of character.
The episode was originally aired before Elan of Troyes, so when the audience first saw the Klingon ships, they were being used by Romulans.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't... Yeah, okay. I didn't realize that... Yeah, okay, so they weren't blips then yet. The last episode they were already there, but that was aired after. Okay, I'm trying to timeline this in my brain of like, when did they get these models?
Yeah. The Howard Anderson Company, responsible for the visual effects photography involving the D7 class starships, offered the producers a choice if they should prioritize this episode or Elan of Troyes. The Enterprise incident was chosen because it ties to the Pueblo incident, made the episode more timely. Elan of Troyes could wait until December to be broadcast.
Gotcha.
Photographic effects using special mats were produced of the D7 class studio model that, when combined, gave the appearance that 3 warships had surrounded the Enterprise.
Cool.
The Matt Jeffries designed Romulan symbol, composed of a yellow hexagon in the center with 3 colored spokes coming out of it, can be seen outside the commander's quarters above her door. The symbol was never again in any Star Trek series or movie.
I mean, it's not a great symbol, but also, why did no one care to... Anyway, okay, sure.
Yeah, everybody's like, well, that's some fucking ugly thing. That's
Yeah,
weird.
we're not using that. That's too many colors. It looks like shit. Never mind. Bye.
The Romulans used Klingon disruptor pistols.
Oh.
The Klingon
Glad
bridge
someone
set.
took the time to notice.
The Klingon bridge set is reused from Milan of Troyes.
Yeah.
The Romulan cloaking device prop consists of part of Nomad's head and a globe from Return to Tomorrow. The Romulan console that holds the cloaking device had been used before in I, Mud and the Return of the Archons, and was used again in Whom Gods Destroyed.
Interesting.
The computer device in the Romulan commander's quarters, used to record Spock's testimony, reappear later in the Lights of Zatar. In the decompression chamber room, the top of the device is a round computer monitor without its lower gooseneck part, recycled from the pilot episodes.
Huh.
Alexander.
It is fun that someone traced all of these different prop parts. That's fun. I like that.
Alexander Courage returned to compose the music for this episode. Later in the season, he also composed music for Plato's Stepchildren, his last score for Star Trek. In the second season, Courage composed about a half hour of musical cues and conducted some music for the series. You'll probably not recall, but Alexander Courage did the theme music, the opening intro.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely forgot that name. Cool.
Mm-hmm. This episode is the first to feature a female starship commander.
Well, that was about time.
Yeah.
Good job.
This is the second and final appearance of Romulan characters in Star Trek the original series.
Seriously?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
The Romulans have improved their cloaking system since Balance of Terror and the Deadly Years. In the former, Spock refers to it as an invisibility screen that can mask a bird of prey's appearance, but not its motion. In the Enterprise incident, the cloaking device now renders a ship undetectable while moving, and not even the Romulans themselves can track a vessel so equipped.
Okay.
This episode depicts transportation of intruders or prisoners between opposing ships as a simple matter, done at will. Later incarnations of Star Trek established that shields prevent the use of a transporter, and both opposing parties must lower them if any transports are to be made.
Well, yes, but that still works with this episode, doesn't it? Because they're exchanging, like they must have both lowered their shields for that to work. Otherwise, you would just beam them right the fuck back.
Right. Well,
on both sides, like
the shields.
Those people are put in the brig on the Enterprise, and presumably that's where shields prevent them from being, broken out of prison.
Presumably, but they do just beam Kirk willy-nilly over to the Romulan ship when he's all dressed up like a Romulan.
Yeah, that's true. They don't limit that to the transporter room, I guess. Oh, well.
Yep.
Guess those shields are only in the brig at this point. Well.
Who
cares?
Fontana remarked, overall, it was not a bad episode, but I did have a lot of complaints about it and things that weren't approached or handled right. Let's face it, the romantic scene between the Romulan commander and Spock was totally out of context. Any Romulan worth her salt would have instantly suspected Spock because they are related races. That was wrong. Kirk's attitudes were wrong. A simple thing, the cloaking device was supposed to be a very small thing, about the size of a watch, for instance, and it could be easily hidden. Here's Kirk running around with this thing that looks like a lamp. Highly visible. This is stupidity as well as illogical thinking. Visually, it was stupid. Conceptually, it was very bad. There were a lot of things, little things, that were changed. But my biggest objection is the scene between Spock and the woman, because I really did not believe it, and I did not believe that the Romulan did not suspect Spock of something underhanded. She does know enough about Vulcan and Vulcans to know that something's afoot. I don't know that I agree with DC Fontana, but you know what? She's DC Fontana.
I agree with part of it. Because we do, like, the episode tries to, wave that away by being, the Romulans are not as fucking logical. She's just,
right,
kind of believing what she's willing to believe. And also, she buys into the whole thing of, like, well, I'm half Vulcan. So Spock has enough of the emotional human side to, be persuaded more easily than a Vulcan might. I don't know. But yeah, the believability, I sort of get that. Because I do feel throughout that Spock is up to something as a viewer. And it's hard to not have that feeling, but it is a sort of a barrier to buy into them both buying into it, I guess. So I see sort of her point, but not all of it. And I think that having a very tiny device able to completely cover I don't know, it feels like this is not necessarily miniaturizable tech to cloak an entire starship. I feel like it might have some heft to it. I don't mind that. That's
I didn't mind that. I don't mind the Spock and Commander situation. Like
I don't mind it, but I can see some problems with the execution.
I feel like, Romulans are passionate, emotional people. Yeah. And I think she very much.
Oh, sorry.
I think her character was very much in a spot where she was in, where Kirk has been often, where it's like, I am sick of this. I want some sort of warmth in my life. And then, she has this encounter. She meets Spock and she's like, you are known. You are fucking known, dude. And she's like preying on that emotional part, that human part, and saying, is there something we can offer you that's more that you would be? And like she wants to believe him. That's the whole thing. It's
exactly. She wants to, because she is put in the position of having this enormous opportunity to take home the Enterprise and be hailed as this great conqueror of like, oh, you got us so much military intelligence. And he's the key to offering her that. And if he says, yeah, I might be able to be persuaded, she is going to want to persuade him. That's kind of what Spock is doing, and that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she is just sort of, she's blindsided. That makes sense.
Yeah. And by the way, I do love how the big reveal that the Romulan commander is a woman is only for us. It's only for us, because she's
just sitting in that chair, and I was already like, oh, well, this is long hair. We're sitting twisted the other way around just to reveal that, because no one else cares, which they shouldn't. But
and I love that. I love that the reveal was only for us, the audience, because when she turns around, Spock and Kirk have like no reaction. They're just like, all right.
They're not like, oh well, Mrs. Commander. Then none of that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like Kirk doesn't recoil and go, a bitch? There's nothing like.
I didn't know they came in this shape. Romulans?
Anyway, that's all I got. I enjoy the episode. I maybe don't feel like it's like the reigning masterpiece that a lot of Star Trek fans tend to think it is, but
I didn't get that. No.
I do enjoy the episode, and I love a Spock episode. So
exactly, same. I don't think it's a masterpiece by any stretch. I think it's just a little too much chasing and aiming lasers for me toward the end. Where it's a lot of the naval shit, more of the let's have some military action. Where I'm like, okay, espionage. I don't know. I'm lukewarm, I guess, and that's that happens. But I also didn't know going into it that it was regarded as something great.
Yeah.
I just, I had a good time.
By the way, it's nice to meet you, lukewarm. My name's Tad Chili.
It's more than a tad chilly over here. God damn, it's cold.
Yeah. Popping in here, Dave and Effie from the future. At least, it's the past for real, but
but like the future from the further past where you just timelines get confusing.
We have feedback from Sterling Gray on the Enterprise incident, and we had already recorded the episode, for God's sake. So here we are, popping in just to talk about his feedback here. And
let's go.
If you want to be like Sterling, you can write in at Star Trek Ucast. That's the letter U. Star Trek Ucast at gmail.com. Sterling Gray on the Enterprise incident. Hey, folks, women just don't wear pants on this show, do they?
I'll tell you what, we don't wear pants generally. I just don't.
Really?
There's no need.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't for a couple years there, but then I did again. I'm wearing sweatpants as we speak.
All right. Sterling says, I think
in fairness to Star Trek, these sweatpants are old enough to have like some giant rips in them that really don't cover as much as they should anymore.
No.
So these are inside sweatpants,
Yeah.
which is practically the same as no pants. Just a bit cold still. It's barely March.
Yeah. We we had a friend who she wore very holy pants, like just war torn pants, and and not me, but one of my friends used to refer to her as your thighness. That's all I'm saying.
I love that. I do have a pair of pants that has like a gap with a bit of a tiny belt like across the thigh, but that's just the perfect pair of pants for me to buy because I have giant tattoos on my thighs. So I was like, I need those pants.
Sure.
I'm not sure I fit in them still, but that is a title well deserved, and she should wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah, sure. Sterling continues, I think only number one in the cage and Sally Kellerman in the second pilot. I think they were the only women to ever wear pants in this show. Not true. It's not. It's really not.
There's a count of this.
I don't have a count. I didn't go through and count anything. However, there was the little cutie patootie ensign that also in Where No Man Has Gone Before, who Gary Mitchell was kind of into, who wasn't Dr. Daner or Sally Kellerman. She wore pants. And then we also saw some background women wearing pants in later episodes, and they were still in the Where No Man Has Gone Before outfits. Then we had in What Are Little Girls Made Of, the android lady, she totally was wearing pants. Not much up top, but she had like sort of she had
it's one or
their
the other,
pants.
you know? That's how fashion fluctuates. This decade, it's very much tight on top, loose on the bottom, and next decade, it will probably flip again to the tight jeans and the loosey-goosey sweaters. Yeah. So, really, it's just a matter of timing.
But,
I'm also very glad you know that from the top of your head, because I would have had nothing of interest to add to. Do they wear pants? Probably sometimes. I don't know. It's the 60s. Huh?
That is about where I'm going to drop off on remembrance, but I'm pretty sure if I started like looking around, I'd find more.
Sure, and we should have been tallying this all along.
I know it. Hey, you know what? Sterling, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to write that down. How many TOS
for
women,
the recap season episode?
Absolutely. Wear pants. Because we're going to do an episode where we're recapping the series and kind of giving like an idea about how we felt about it overall. And I want to...
This is a segment,
Yep. How many TOS women wear pants? I'm excited about that.
Hell yeah. As well as there was something about the kisses we had to tally, but that's a different recording. Timelines, man.
We'll come up with it.
Exactly.
Sterling Gray giving us all these great ideas. Look at this. Sterling continues.
Love me some feedback.
Sterling says, this was a good episode. I thought the espionage and the heist were pretty good. I appreciate that the Romulan captain was a woman. I really liked her character. She was tough, and her back and forth with Spock was great. I don't think they gave her a name, though, or pants. But it was, look, man, at some point, though, I
mean, you don't need pants. You can wear whatever the fuck you like, but a name would be nice. I'll give him that.
I would like to ask a question, okay?
Of course.
In today's society, we have, yoga pants, jeggings.
Oh, God, yeah.
Most of the women on Star Trek, even if they're wearing a skirt, they have those thick-ass pantyhose.
Yep. There's no seeing through that shit.
So, does that count? Or are they all just wearing
they're
yoga
not pants? But I guess at that point, it's a matter of, do you mind that they're all short skirted above the panties, the pantyhose? Sorry, the panties. That's a language thing. In Dutch, panties are pantyhose, and panties are not called panties. So that's my brain doing a thing. Don't worry, I'm not just thinking about their panties all day.
I am.
But of course. But I'm just trying to distance myself from that official viewpoint of this podcast. No, it's, but it immediately gets to the sort of reverse policing of women's clothing, where it's like, come on, like within the show, of course, it's weird that they got dressed by someone else, but that's always a thing on shows, and man, if it helped get it on TV, I guess that's a concession you
Yeah.
got to make. You can't let them wear pants, I guess. But
And-
also, I don't mind. People can wear skirts if they like. People can wear
Right.
pants if they like. That's kind of the point where we're at now.
Yeah.
And whatever happened in the meantime, they probably felt fine in that. We also shouldn't be like, well, making women too feminine is now anti-feminist. That sort of lands you in a sort of political butchness territory where I'm like, I'm not sure that's not necessary. You can be femme and still
Yeah.
very much pro women, like equal rights and all that. Like it's not one or the other. It's not necessarily excluding any sort of stance.
But like,
It's
you know,
just,
as you know,
they're not all eye candy even. Like some of them
Right.
they're just uniforms.
Yeah. And what's fun is that, like, when you look back at, when you have something like Star Trek that's been made for 60 years, you know, and you could say, like, what was the progressive thing at the time? Well, it was the pro-sex movement. And so, you know, women wearing...
Yeah, there was free love happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so moving away from, like, before Star Trek, you had, like, mostly, I'm not saying they started this necessarily, but they were at the forefront of it, where, like, you know, not everyone was going to be Donna Reed in the giant flowing skirt.
Yeah,
And
not
very,
every
very
skirt had to
conservative
cover
women.
knees and calves and preferably ankles. Like
And,
that ended at some point.
You know, it's fun because for years and years, since the 80s off and on, you've had people looking back and going, oh, those uniforms are so sexist and anti-woman. But at the time,
not at
they
the
were
time,
not.
yeah.
They were not considered that. They were considered like, look at these professional women doing a professional job, dressed the way they wanted to.
Yeah, they can express themselves more freely because they're not confined to, well, you can't show any skin or I'll have to rape you because my dick can't
Right.
control itself. That sort of attitude is also something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And of course it looks different looking back on it, but at the same time, I mean, just to poke fun at it, there's a lot of guys in skirts on this show too. There's a lot of those Roman barely covered the junk outfits too, with some leggings underneath. So really,
And for a minute,
there's something for everyone.
yeah, and for a minute at times, like, you know, it takes no time for Kirk and Spock to get on a planet and have their shirts ripped off of them
Oh yeah,
at certain points.
yeah. Until he got a bit less in shape, I guess.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
We're still always fat phobic, so I don't know.
Sure.
Can't have his dad bod showing.
Well, you know, now that's the
I
thing.
mean, it's showing, but it's not bare chested anymore as often.
And what's funny is when you go back and you look at, like, you get interviews from people who, you know, played the women on Star Trek. It was like, some of them were like, yeah, that was, man, they gave me a tiny little skirt and I didn't really care for it. And then others are just
Sure.
like, no,
I was wearing a silver bikini. What the fuck is this? Sure.
Yeah,
Some
and
of them
then
had weird boobs.
and then, so,
The pointy fucking silver bikini thing.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
But then others were like, you know, people are always like, I can't believe they made you wear that. She's like, I liked it. I thought it was sexy. You know, like some of them
Yeah,
liked it.
look good on me. Sure.
I think if I had a real note to really go back on and be like, hey, maybe do this, it would have been like,
What
just
did the actresses think?
have
Or-
a choice, have a couple of different choices.
Yeah.
Or maybe like throw some women in the background who were wearing pants and stuff, which they did. I'd just say like,
Yeah.
do it a little bit more. And,
Sure. And I feel
do-
like at the same time, a lot of more prominent female characters who had perhaps a couple outfit changes, there tend to be long dresses mostly. And sure, there's some
Yeah.
exposed sides and stuff, but it's overall something you would much more easily get away with now anyway. So it always feels like sort of coming from a weird place to go back to the 60s and be like, oh, you were misogynist when you did it, but now we're empowered.
yeah.
So like it's sort of the problem where I'm like, come on. Like the actresses now don't have much of a say in their wardrobe either, and actresses then also enjoyed some of their looks. So it's the same issue throughout. Like don't be the dude who is like, well, they should have worn this.
Yeah.
Because that would have made me feel less bad or less unhorny. I don't know, either
Yeah.
or. It's just...
But, you know, I've seen a lot of people pointing out that, you know, Kirk walking around in his little wraparound where a lot of his chest is shown. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
so this whole show is horny as fuck. Like, let's not.
Of course. And that's fine. There's
don't know.
plenty of horny art and media I enjoy greatly.
I also I think it's funny and you haven't really gotten there, but to just watching it evolve over the decades, because Star Trek is in a lot of ways and a lot of times striving to be progressive for its time. So by the movies, you have there's a female character who has her hair down at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And Kirk comments on it. He's like, "You're doing your hair differently today." And she just stares at him and goes, "It is regulation, Admiral." And he goes, "Oh, of course. Yeah."
Oops.
And it's really awkward.
Pointed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
yeah.
sorry.
That was inappropriate. Good point. Thank you.
And then McCoy gets on the turbo lift and they go do a thing. She walks off, and when the door is shut, McCoy looks at him and goes, "She wearing her hair different?" It's fun to watch society's idea be transferred over to Star Trek, and then once again moving back and forth.
But it is a weird area because it does also feel very puritanical to be nah, they were too horny to make him wear pants because I don't want to see too much. What the fuck are we doing? At some point we just gotta stop telling people how to dress.
Yeah. And
if the character is hot, then the character is hot. I'm sorry. It's life.
And I also, as far as a fan is concerned, just trying to get into how the universe works. I'm we as a society right now, we will pop back and go, well, I think we're back to the 90s again. We're going to start wearing fucking plaid. I'm wearing a fucking flannel shirt right now. We're all going to start, we're going to look like
the dykes never stopped, honey.
Yeah.
We were always on the flannel train.
Me too. But that's the kind of the issue though, is it's fun to speculate that stylistically, even from a Starfleet uniform perspective, and also the set designs, we got into some 60s looking shit.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It happens. Yeah.
So anyway, let's see. Sterling says, "This was a good episode. I thought the espionage and the heist were pretty good. I appreciate that the Romulan captain was a woman. I really liked the character. She was tough, and her back and forth, I think I said this already, with Spock was great. I don't think they gave her a name, though, or pants. That's where we left off.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was a nice start to go... God. It was a nice start to a long line of strong female Romulans. Sub-Commander Terrace from TNG and Commander Dinatra from Nemesis come to mind. Sorry, Effie, for the very mild spoilers. You will no doubt...
I mean, I won't remember this.
He says you will no doubt forget about in the next 500 years it will take you guys to get to TNG and Nemesis.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
I had to laugh when Spock told Kirk to talk to the hand with the Vulcan death grip, and Kirk fell back with his mouth open. It reminded me of that one episode of Voyager where Janeway recoiled in pain and her mouth was inexplicably wide open. For the life of me, I can't remember what Voyager episode that was from, but it was unintentionally funny. I don't remember either. Voyager's one of those that I've watched the least, and I need to go back. I had started to, but then I got busy.
We'll go back eventually.
Yeah. Nice to know the inside of a Romulan warbird. It feels weird to just say warbird. You need Romulan in front of it. Looks just like the Enterprise with different lighting. That's a good lesson. Why. That's a good lesson for us to learn, Sterling. No matter what our differences, inside, we're all the same.
Yeah.
With the same even television lighting.
And the same metals and the same corridors. And, yeah.
They used Nomad's head from the Changeling as part of the cloaking device, right? Yes, they did. He says also Nomad is Bender from Futurama, right? I don't know about that one. Maybe.
I don't know. Haven't looked into that one.
I feel like it's a joke. I don't get it exactly, but
I don't remember enough of Nomad. Clearly, I mean I remember Bender vaguely.
Yeah, I mean I remember Nomad.
Huh.
And I know Bender.
I'm sorry. Were we supposed to laugh? We can just edit that in.
Ha 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 ha
ha! Good one, Sterling Gray.
You clever motherfucker. Seriously, write me a message. I don't know what we're talking about here. Anyway, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for mocking you at the end, I guess.
No, that wasn't mocking.
That was mostly mocking ourselves, though.
That was mocking
the
ourselves.
intention.
Yeah. I think that was the joke. Yeah. Anyway, we'll pop back out to the normal episode, or
timey-wimey stuff.
If you want us to mock ourselves because of your feedback, Star Trek Ucast at gmail.com.
It's very easy to make us mock ourselves.
Stupid old selves.
What do they think they are?
They're probably clones. The government cloned them, replace us.
Or Mirrorverse versions. You don't know.
Yeah, sure. I was making fun of Jim Carrey, the whole Jim Carrey thing. But,
sure.
You know how I guess you don't. You're not on social media anymore. Oh, everybody's freaking out about Jim Carrey right now. Anyway.
Because he's a clone, or did he clone someone?
He was at some award ceremony. He got an award, and now they're saying that he's a clone, and he doesn't look like himself and sound like himself. And I'm like,
yeah, because he got old, and he's been crazy for a couple years now.
He literally just looks like he's had a bit of filler put in, and he had his hair dyed dark, like black or something. He doesn't look any different.
He got
than me,
upset
really.
about his age. That's what happens to famous men and women. So really, what are we doing here?
I swear to God, these people have not looked at Jim Carrey in decades. Like,
apparently,
yeah. I have just saw. I'm looking at a picture. He looks the same, dude. Come on, y'all. Anyway,
fuck off.
All right, back to the episode.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're probably just wrapping the episode, honestly.
Oh right, yeah, sure, that works.
All right.
Back to wrapping the episode.
All right, well, on the next episode of Star Trek Universe, the classic rewatch, who knows where we'll be with the show overall. I say, hail, hail, fire and snow, call the angel, we will go. Far away for to see, friendly angel, come to me. We're talking Star Trek 305, and the children shall lead. Until then.
Oh, God. I have no clue what that was.
Until then. Jolon true, live long, prosper, and of course,
eat a dick, people. Eat a dick.
How often do you eat a dick?
In the cannibalistic way or in the oral sex way?
Either.
Never.
Right. So why does everybody else gotta eat a dick?
Well, I'm not doing it. Someone has to.
I think most people...
Somebody has to.
I think, like, percentage-wise, there are a lot of people giving head out there.
Yeah, and I'm encouraging them.
Okay.
Do what you do. Do what you gotta do.
All
just
right.
keep it up.
Bruise that palate.
Oh my. Train that gag reflex, people. I'm not making that the outro from now on. Oh boy. We should stop recording.
Star Trek Universe is produced by Matthew Carroll and David C. Robertson. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out all of his podcasts at strandedpanda.com. And go look for his music by searching Matthew Carroll wherever you get music. He did the theme for this show. Find out more about Effie Ophelders and her writing at euphemia.ophelda.rs. And if you want more of me, David C. Robertson, you can find links to my other podcast, DC On Screen, my poetry, short stories, photography, artwork, and my free all-encompassing weekly/semi-weekly newsletter at davidcrobertson.com. All links are in the show notes. If you'd like to reach out and have your voice heard, email us StarTrekUcast@gmail.com.